Hello everyone, this is Mohan, founder of IASBABA, and prelims exam is just 5 days away and you must be working really hard. I would rather say slogging. You must be revising, solving a lot of tests, a lot of emotions running through whether I'll be able to clear the exam or not. And I completely understand this because even I have walked through this journey. And one common thing among all of us, be it a student who is giving 5th attempt, 6th attempt prelims, was cleared before a rank holder, or even if I have to sit for the exam, this is one common thing that we all of us undergo. Right? So you're not alone here. So there are lakhs of students with the same feeling now. And also, it doesn't matter how many questions you would have solved, how many hours you would have put in, the number of revisions you have made. Ultimately, what matters is on the D-Day, what is your strategy to solve the questions and the mindset that you should have on the D-Day, which is so important, and that is what I'll be discussing today. So I'll take the routine of a student so that you will be able to easily relate to and connect to it. So the mindset starts just one day before the exam, that is on Saturday. So it starts with the day, the first half of the day or till the evening. Don't study a lot, all that. Keep it very light. Revise, especially the facts that you think that you might forget in polity or medieval art and culture. Or even it can be, you can run through the maps. So keep it a bit light till the evening. And especially in the night, make sure that you will have adequate sleep. And I completely understand that for many, it is, not for many, for quite a few, sleeping the day before the exam is a little hard. So what I would like to suggest is, even the food that you have it light. And you can also take a hot bath so that keeps you relaxed. When the water flows through you, it makes you relaxed. Or also you can you can write it down also, whatever you're feeling, because the moment you start writing, you'll have more clarity. And now that you have written it down, you don't have to worry much. And make sure that your light is off, like it can be your bedroom light, your mobile light as well. All this is a distraction. So go to bed as early as possible. And make sure that you will have that adequate sleep. And also there is this breathing technique. There are two techniques which says 4-7-8 or 5-5-5. So basically the breath that you take, you should take the breath for 4, hold it for 7 and exhale for 8. Or the same thing can be 5-5-5. So whatever that relaxes you can do that so that you can have a good night's sleep. And the next morning when you wake up, don't miss your breakfast. That is very important here. Even if it is light breakfast, please do have the breakfast and take your parents' blessing. That is so important. That creates a lot of positive vibes, and go with a smile. That is also equally important. Say you are taking an auto rickshaw to the exam center, say thank you for the auto driver there, smile. So all that, it creates a lot of psychological well-being, emotional positivity. So the small things also will matter a lot. So that blessings also carry the same thing forward. Now coming to reaching the center, make sure that at least you reach 45 minutes to 1 hour before the exam. That is, if the exam is at 9:30, make sure that by 8:30, 8:45 you are there. That is very important. And especially if you're new to the city, make sure that you would have visited that place before, so that there's no last minute hiccups. Once you reach there, there are two things that you should keep in mind. Don't enter the exam hall with any kind of preconceived notions. So what do I mean by that is preconceived notions in terms of, okay, I've studied the core subjects, or say my strength is polity, or say last year a lot of questions came from geography, so this time I might expect from history. So don't please go with that, because you never know what would be the trend, and that UPSC only knows. So don't have that preconceived notions as such. And also with the cutoff especially. Right? If you look at the last 5 years cutoff, the highest was 92.51 and the lowest was 75.41. So if I take the average of it, it comes around 86.33. Please don't go with any kind of preconceived notions that, okay, cutoff will be around 85 to 90. So I'll be solving 40 questions or 45 questions, net 45. See, please don't go with all that, because every year the cutoff depends on the difficulty level of that year, and also the relative performance of the students. Right, during our times, I think in one of the years it had gone to even 114. So it can change anywhere. And if you still insist, like how many questions should I attempt, all that, going by all this, the trend and all, I would say probably around 65 to 70 something a safer side, at least minimum I'm saying. Ultimately, the number of questions that you have to attempt later depends on the difficulty level of the paper. Clear? So keep this in mind. and never go with any kind of preconceived notions. And once you get the book, make sure that all the fields are filled. That is equally important. Be it your roll number, be it the center number, all that, and also make sure that you are sitting at the right place, because wherever the roll number is put, because accordingly the question booklet is given. So that is also equally important. And once you get the paper, don't try to solve the questions right away. I used to always make sure that I used to flip for at least 2 to 3 minutes, flip through the paper, right? Just skim through the paper for first 2-3 minutes, so that you will get an idea of how the questions are distributed. It can be in terms of the subjects like polity, history, science and environment, or in terms of the nature of the questions. Is a new pattern introduced, like pair or statement based questions, or sport based questions, or award based questions? So you'll get an idea. So what will happen is, like, you will start accepting things. And the best solution for overcoming anxiety is to accept things, accept the reality. So once you understand that, I mean, you will be more relaxed. So that is the reason you should not be solving the first 2-3 minutes. Please go through it. And the second most important thing when you start solving is the gaining the momentum. That is equally important, and that comes with the subject that you're confident with. So whenever I used to solve, I used to always start with polity, because that was my favorite subject, and that is the subject where my accuracy rate also was high. So I used to go identify where the polity starts, and from there I used to solve. And people have different strategies. Like I used to, after polity, I used to just continue with the same order. So because it would have already given me that confidence. But there are students who think, okay, after polity, probably history is my strong subject, or geography, or even environment. So they go with that order. So I would usually choose my first confidence subject, then I would go with the same order. So that is how I used to do. So follow that. So gaining confidence is very, very important. The other thing that you should keep in mind is, while solving, take one question at a time. That is very important. Just like in cricket, when Virat Kohli was asked in one of the interview, what is the difference between the consistent Virat Kohli that we see today and the Virat in his initial days? He just said that initially I used to focus on the crowd, and now I focus on the ball. The crowd here can be your mentors, your parents, your friends, peers, relatives, and even the results for that matter. So what you should be focusing is on the ball. That is nothing but the question that is right in front of you. Right? So please keep this in mind. And next comes the filling of OMR sheet. See, please never fill the OMR sheet at the end. That is, that is really a risky thing that you can do. There are students of mine who I've personally seen and personally heard that they have made that mistake. So please don't do that mistake. It can be like, say, suppose 61st question you are attempting, make sure that 61st is marked on the OMR sheet then and there. Or else there is another way also. So in one sheet there will be 3 or 4 questions in one side. So you can solve all of them together and make sure that all the 3 or 4 can go at together. You can mark them. So either of that you can do it. And coming to the number of rounds that you have to go through, people say 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds. I never ever believed that, because every time I used to solve, all that I could do was only 2 rounds. I think now, since the paper is becoming lengthy in terms of questions, the quality of questions, which is taking a little bit of more time, I think 1 or 2, at the max 2 rounds is possible. So you can go for 2 rounds. In the first round, as I said, make sure that all the questions where you are 100% sure, please go through it, right? And the next 50-50. So what I used to do is, whenever I used to get the answer right, 100% very sure, I used to make a tick mark it. Then where I was 50-50 sure, I used to put one circle. Say one statement I was able to eliminate but not the other 3, that is 75:25, I used to put it in double circle. Because when I used to come in the second round, I made sure that I took those chances and I marked all the 50-50 and 75-25, that ratio when I have, I'll use my discretion there. Because I need to also see how many questions I would have solved where I'm 100% very sure and 50-50 where I'm taking chances. Based on that, I'll take the risk. Because usually what happens is, even the most brilliant of the lot, I think probably around 40-45 where they are very 100% sure. So the rest of the questions that you attempt, say you want to attempt 75-80, whatever it is, so there you have to take that 50-50 chances and a discretion in 75-25. So that is how you need to solve it. So you have different methods of marking whatever you do, but please, I mean, you can follow this strategy. This has worked out for me all my attempts, and I think that will definitely help you out as well. Other practical things that keep happening around you, that also you should keep in mind, because there'll be times wherein the benches are smaller, you are very tall there, or probably this has happened in a Bangalore center, so that is why I'm telling you. Then probably there's rain, there's leakage somewhere, and it might be hot there in other parts of the country. In Bangalore, it's been raining since last 2 days. All of you know that, and so it can be anything. Okay, those factors should not affect you, right? These are called hygiene factors. So the benches should not actually affect you how you're performing, because somewhere else somebody else will be sitting in a more comfortable position and solving. Ultimately, you need to crack this exam, so keep these things in mind. And also, there are times where you are in the 6th or 7th question. That is the time where the invigilator comes and asks you to sign the attendance and all. So don't get agitated there, or sometimes invigilators there might be talking in the corridors. That might be disturbing you. Please be assertive then. Tell them, please, it is disturbing me. Make sure that all this should not affect you. The only focus, as I said, the focus should be on the ball, that is the question here, and not the crowd. So please keep this in mind. This will definitely make a huge difference in your preparation. I mean, in your success in the prelims exam. And then coming to after 11:30 to 2:30, that is a 3-hour break. That is like make or break success in UPSC prelims, because this can also, because there are a lot of students who have missed out because of this 3 hours where they have not been able to use it properly. So what do I mean by use it properly here is, because soon after the exam, they get into the mode of discussing what is the answer for this question, what is the answer for this question, right? How many questions did I attempt, all that. And also students, some of them start checking on the Telegram, and there are people you will definitely see even tomorrow that they'll be on air as soon as the answer, as soon as the question paper is there, they'll go live, all that. So please, it's my humble request, please don't watch any one of this, because this is just an distraction for you. You can do it after your CSAT paper. So please never get involved in all this. And other things that have happened, that I've seen and witnessed, there'll be one group of students who would say, yeah, it's such a easy paper. How come UPSC gave such an easy paper? It was such a simple paper. Just imagine you are overhearing this, and what will happen to your confidence, right? You might have felt it's moderate or difficult, and how the hell this guy is saying it is such an easy paper, right? Or even it can be like the other set of students wherein they'll try to play the victim role, especially the people whom you know well itself, right? Your friends or people, I mean students, I mean your friends would be studying together, and they'll be playing that victim card, and you will also think, okay, yeah, the paper was like this, it is so sad that my friend of mine did not perform well. But ultimately when the results are out, you know what will happen. Probably that guy or girl would have cleared, and you might not. So all this will happen. So never ever get influenced by all this. As I said, the cycle, I still say that the 60% of your success, 60 to 70% of your success is on your knowledge, but the remaining 30 to 40% of your success depends on your psychological well-being, the mental health, all that on that day. So that is the reason I'm stressing so much on even the minutest of the minutest things, and that happens on the day of the exam, right? And you all know how, I mean, we human beings are, so you need to accept it, and you just need to keep moving without getting influenced by all these things, right? And again, lunch, keep it light, and if you are able to take a power nap, you can do it. And also, if you have written any formulas, anything like that, just skim through it, keep it very calm and cool. And finally, at 2:30, when you're giving CSAT paper, which is an Achilles heel to many, and even the so-called top strong people who are good in maths, IITs, all that, it is creating that problem. We all know that. But at the end of the day, still, it is just a qualifying paper that you need to understand. So the simple trick to crack CSAT is to identify the low-hanging fruits. So you might be very good in maths, very good in English, or very good in logical reasoning, but you need to understand that there will be difficult questions, there will be easy questions in each of these categories. All that you have to do is identify the low-hanging fruits, that is the easy questions in each of these categories. That is what will eventually help you to crack. Because I have seen students, especially engineers, I myself being an engineer, I understand that we make sure that we try to solve with maths, and later we understand or realize that probably the English was easier that side. that year. So please make sure that you go through, even in paper 1, make sure that you go through all the 100 questions. Here in CSAT, make sure that you go through all the 80 questions. So flip through that first 2-3 minutes, you'll understand how the questions are distributed, whether more weightage is given to maths that year or English. So you'll get an idea, and make sure that you pick up all the low hanging fruits. That is the best way to crack the CSAT paper. And you can identify, you can mark all the marks, like you can write M there, English, E there, whatever it is. Use shortcuts and make sure that you solve those questions where you feel it is easy, right? So that is one. Second thing that can play a spoilsport, especially if you're from the maths background, is that ego. That okay, once you're solving a problem and you get stuck with it, no matter what, you stick to it and the time still keeps going. It can be 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. It is not worth to spend 5 minutes on a given problem, especially if it is just one max problem there. So make sure that because time management is the biggest thing, that you should be focusing on, especially with CSAT. Now definitely you would have put in a lot of efforts. All that I would like to say is believe in yourself, trust in yourself, because you will know more than what you think you actually do. And that is how it works out, because the mind has immense capabilities. It can recollect anything and everything that you have read. All that you have to do is trust your mind. And if not for you, who else will? Isn't it? So wish you all the best, and thank you.